Hey everybody, I'm live. This is John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, the nation's first and only national network for the poor, the struggling class, the teetering class, those with too much month at the end of their money, those folks like you and me. I'm also the author of Love Leadership, The New Way of Leading a Fear-Based World, and How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path to the Middle Class. Both of those are bestsellers. Banking on Our Future is a book for children and their families. I'm here today to talk to you, and I want to thank you all for pushing this Civil Rights series to over 13 million, almost 14 million views. I come to you spontaneously between meetings and commitments to talk to you about your life, to talk to you about my life, to talk to you about how I've done it, how I think you can do it, and how to create a new framework for success, a new vision for America and the world, a new way to live in a fear-based world, a way that you can come up even when everybody's trying to press you down, the way to be hopeful when you want to be depressed, to see light when there is only darkness. This is my goal. I want to acknowledge Lester Gardner, who's joined, who used to work for Operation Hope, Mary from Alaska, Derek Bryan, Corey Nafi, I believe, from Maryland, Gail Benson, Kobe G. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Jimmy Riley, stopped my workout to hear you. Thank you, Jimmy. Gloria Johnson from Danville, Virginia, in the house. Derek Kelly from Compton, California. Hey, I grew up in Compton. Gachomo Maple Shekong from Dubai. Tiffany, I just saw her in Memphis recently. Zaina Knox, Mary again, hey, from Alaska, love you all so much. Gloria Johnson, live within your means. Hey, Gloria, nice to have you with me. Okay, Paul Jackson, morning brother from Seattle. Hassan from North Carolina. Please stay safe in North Carolina, by the way. Boston in the house, that's Cruz. So let me, I see Kansas City, Nisi Williams. Let me jump into this on a Saturday morning live with you with Civil Rights, unbought, unbossed, unbiased, coming to you straight, and no chaser, with a mission to take your life back. Provocative title. By the way, I just did something on LinkedIn talking about the death, the new epidemic in this world, the death of hope, the death of truth, the death of confidence and curiosity. And can we do something about it? Yes, we can. Go watch that video I just put on LinkedIn. If you don't follow me there, you can follow me there and here. So the advantages of being poor is a provocative title, right? Now, let me say the obvious. I say all the time at Operation Hope, there's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind, a depressed condition of your spirit. And you must vow never, ever, ever to be poor again. So poverty starts here, and it migrates here, and it settles here in your pocket. It starts here or here, and then it migrates to your pocket. So I can give a guy $1 million, a homeless man $1 million, because I feel sorry for him. He'll be broke in 6 months because nothing changed here, nothing changed here. So sympathy has to be combined with or challenged with or replaced by empathy in life. So you want to empathize with that brother, but not sympathize. You want to help him to lift his life up. So what is an advantage that the poor have on everybody else? I've acknowledged in the past that we're dealing with depression and we're dealing with mental and emotional challenges that we need to address. What is that thing we have as an advantage? Hustle. We've been doing so much with so little for so long. We can almost do anything with nothing, right? And when you come from nothing, then you don't have the magic of compounded interest, which is money on money creating more money. Then you create a magic of compounded hustle. Hustle on more hustle creates more hustle. And I'm gonna do a whole video on getting a job when you cannot create one, or better, creating a job. Sorry, when you can't get one. When you can't get a job, create a job. I'm gonna break it down into pieces so that we can get our hands around it. But let me talk to you about some practical examples of how the poor are more enlightened in many ways, have a better shot. Operation Hope and Gallup did a recent survey. The Gallup Hope Index, look it up. And it showed that, and is the only national survey of young people and their aspiration and their hope, their financial literacy, their well-being, their engagement in our inner city communities around the country. And it found, and listen now, it found that inner city kids, poor kids, black and brown kids, and I would imagine rural white kids too, but we focus on urban inner city kids, have a higher propensity and talent to be an entrepreneur or a business owner than their mainstream counterparts. Boom. Okay, you don't hear those stats, right? You don't hear about the positives. You don't hear about the advantages that we have. That's one that the researchers found. The researchers at Gallup found that minority kids have a higher and better propensity to become a successful entrepreneur than their mainstream counterparts. That's because we're used to challenges and struggle. We got challenges in our household every day. We grow up dodging bullets and trying to survive every day. That makes you more resilient. That gives you a higher propensity to manage pain. And success in life is all about managing pain, successfully managing pain. If you can't manage pain, you can't live. Life is about successfully managed pain. It's 10% what life does to you, and 90% how you choose to respond to it. The question is, what's your response going to be? That is the question. Do we manage our lives from the neck down, physical, rioting, upset, angry, depressed, pissed off, upset at the world? Or do we manage our life from the neck up? Which is the strategies that I'm trying to embed into a new software upgrade for so-called poor people. So one example, I think I got a thumbs up on that, right? One example of that is my life. I grew up in Compton, California, in South Central LA. Most of you know my story. My mother had an 11th grade education. I've misquoted this in the past wrongly, said it was 8th grade. That was my dad. My mom had an 11th grade education, left school to take care of her children, like many of you, particularly if you came from the South in my mom's generation. But she went back, to her mother's self-esteem, when she was 62 and got her high school equivalency and marched with cap and gown with 18-year-olds because she wanted to finish her school, her education. She wanted that dignity for herself. So my mother didn't have money. She might have been broke, but she wasn't poor. That's what we got to get, right? And you got to take your negatives and turn it into positives. Turn all that hustle of understanding that you got to work 18 hours a day sometimes to keep from getting a job as an entrepreneur. Turn that hustle into something positive. So my story is one story, how I made it out and built a global enterprise. Let me give you some other stories that of people who started with pretty raggedy jobs or mediocre jobs and became very successful. President Barack Obama scooped ice cream when he was a kid. Hillary Clinton supervised park activities when she was a kid. Donald Trump collected bottles when he was a kid, and he may be collecting bottles again. He may go back to being broke the way he's operating. So he's not one of my role models. I just had fun sharing that. He was never poor. He was given his money. Robert Herjavec was a debt collector. Mary liked that. She thought that was funny. Marisa Mayer was a grocery store clerk. And she's a very successful leader today. Mark Cuban sold garbage bags. Lloyd Blankfein, who is CEO of Goldman Sachs, sold snacks at Yankee Stadium. I want to thank Natasha, by the way, Natasha Bryan, for giving me this list of these folks who did pretty mediocre jobs growing up. Richard Branson was an amateur bird breeder and arborist when he was young. Beth Comstock worked in a Rubbermaid factory. If you don't know these names, look them up, by the way. Kat Cole, my friend, was a Star Hooters employee. She's brilliant, by the way. She's brilliant. She's on one of my boards. And he goes on and on and on. Warren Buffett was a paper boy. I sold paper. I threw newspapers when I was a kid. I had a paper route. I also sold mail order shoes and mail order candy. I sold candy. I had mail order shoes and mail order jewelry. I hustled, right? I had a lemonade stand when I was growing up. I had a candy house when I was growing up. You got to embed these mindsets of success and winning at a young age. So you may not have the tools to do that in your own life. So I'm going to give you some of these tools. Go to operationhope.org. Go to operationhope.org. www.operationhope.org. Sign up for the Hope 700 Credit Score Communities program. That's where we raise credit scores 120 points in 24 months. I do a whole nother video just on that, because today your credit score, your public record, your credit record is almost more important than your public record. Because even if you have a felony, I mean, I'd rather have a felony or a misdemeanor on my public record than to have a 300 or 400 credit score. You can actually not get a job, be denied a job with a public record, right? But if you got a 750 credit score, you can actually be a felon who's paid your debt to society and still get a loan to start a business or own a home. This is America. Now, this may apply in different ways around the world, where they also have credit scores or other ways of determining your credit valuability. But increasingly today, we're living in an economic age. So values matter. You pay your debt to society, but once you pay your debt to society, a saint is a sinner that got up. Everybody deserves a second shot. And a lot of our best entrepreneurs were once in prison because they had crappy role models in a crappy environment. All drug dealing is an illegal, unethical entrepreneur. It's illegal, it's unethical, it's like saying it's selling death to your own community. But what these drug dealers are not are dumb. They're not dumb. They understand import, export, finance, marketing, wholesale, retail, customer service, security, territory, logistics. These are frustrated young people who don't think they have options, who could become the next Steve Jobs in these communities. I believe there's a Steve Jobs and a John Johnson, founder of Ebony and Jet magazine, and a Reginald Lewis, the first black billionaire on Wall Street, in every community in America. But we've got to nurture and find that, and we've got to see ourselves as potential. And you have to understand that there needs to be a 100-year flood of entrepreneurs, because all wealth that didn't come from government contracting or crime and illegal activities, all other wealth came from poor people. I will do a video just on this. I know it's a very provocative statement, but all real wealth in this country was built from nothing, from people who were immigrants and came up from nothing and built it from scratch. I did a video on the Black Wall Street a couple of days ago. Some of you have seen it. If you didn't, you need to watch it. I tell the real story of Black Wall Street, and it's not this negative thing that you keep hearing about, that people keep obsessing about. It's actually a very positive story of two black men with nothing who built an entire community from scratch, because they used the philosophies that I keep talking about, that Abraham Lincoln believed in, that Frederick Douglass believed in, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in, that Andrew Young has said. They succeeded in integrating the lunch counter with the civil rights movement, but they never integrated the dollar. They succeeded in integrating the lunch counter with the civil rights movement, but they failed to integrate the dollar. And to live in a system of free enterprise and not to understand the rules of free enterprise must be the very definition of slavery. Boom. So I want you to go to operationhope.org and sign up to small business training. It's free. Sign up to the entrepreneurship classes. They are free. I want you to sign up to the Hope 700 Credit Score Communities program to raise your credit score to 700. And I'm going to launch soon Hope 700 Credit Score Community Clubs in communities across this country, block by block. That's something you can help me do. Would you like to do that? Would you like to sign up and be the captain, the chair of your own 700 Credit Score Community Club inspired by Operation Hope? If I gave you the toolkit and made it easy and made it painless and made it cost-free, would you do that? Would you sign up to join me in this civil rights movement in the suites, connecting it to the streets, connecting it to your community and your life? Because nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. I saw a couple yeses there, but I mean, tell me, yes or no, would you join me in this movement? Rakita says yes, my cousin from East St. Louis. Audrey Appleby, Quincy Jones says yes. Kevin Quincy Jones says yes. KD Carter, send me the kit. Okay, I got to design it, KD, but if you tell me to do it, we will. It won't take me but a few weeks. Of course, John Nafi says, Carter, I want to help you set up a location here in Connecticut. I think it's Connecticut. Raquel, yes. Corey Hall, yes, definitely. Terry Glenn, yes. Can you put those websites on your page? Yes, actually, if you go to the top of this video at Facebook Live, all the links are there for Operation Hope and the Freedman's Bank and the Civil Rights Series, my books, How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. All the links are at the top of this video. Definitely, Derek O'Brien says yes. Alvin Malinger, yes. Hassan Sharif, yes. Roxanne Brown, I'm in Philly and would love it, yes. Audrey, please include me. Appleby, yes. I didn't want to speak for you, so thank you, Audrey. Derek Smart, yes. Bradis Kinlock, yes. J. Yuan Carter, yes. Credit scores are leveraging for leverage for capital. Yes, when you don't have financial capital, you need creative capital like credit capital. That's how I started my businesses. I never got a loan. I just used my credit and my hustle to build something from scratch. Derek McGuire, no doubt. Kings, I will join you in Detroit. Fantastic. I'm coming to Detroit next week to open a new Hope Inside. By the way, at your university there, please join me. The invitation will be on my website and will be on John Hope Bryant, John Hope Bryant Live on this Facebook page within the day. I'm in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. That's Katie Carter. Brandon loves it. Yes. Hello, sir. So, Amika, yes. So we're going to start these Hope 700 credit score community clubs now. Tie that to the 700 credit score community program that Operation Hope does, so you can take this local and take control of your own neighborhood and communities. But you can go right, and then soon we're going to have, so SunTrust Banks just gave us a grant for almost $1 million to create an app, a digital platform to take all of our programs and put them digitally. So where you can't come to us, we're going to now come to you. You'll be able to access all the Operation Hope programs on your smartphone, just like this. I assume you think that's a good idea. You'll be able to talk to your family, share it with your family, work on your credit and work on small business and entrepreneurship and all of these things, your self-esteem, your integrity, all these things from wherever you happen to be. But if you can get a hold of one of our offices, and we're opening an office once every 2 or 3 weeks on average, in some cases once a week, go to operational.org, find the office near you, sign up to these free services. The Hope Coalition America, if you're in the disaster zone right now in Florida, we help you when you got a car loan and no car anymore, a home loan, no home anymore, small business loan, no small business anymore. We help you put your life back on track. Do you know that if you're in these disaster zones, you have a mortgage, let's say a FHA mortgage, is federally guaranteed. Do you know that you don't have to make payments for a period of time, that they're suspended in a national disaster? That's true, right? But you don't know that. Do you know that you could get the earned income tax credit benefits right now that are due you, which is as much as $10,000 or more as a gift to you that you could use to help rebuild your life? You can do that all through our Hope Inside locations. So we have a whole battery of civil rights tools at Operation Hope that are waiting for you. This week we have Global Dignity coming up, Global Dignity Day, around 74 countries around the world that's basically practicing the South African philosophy of Ubuntu. I am me because you are you. I want you to join in on Global Dignity Day. I'll do a whole video just on that. I'll be in Detroit launching Global Dignity Day. My brother Håkon Magnus, the Crown Prince of Norway will be in Japan. Professor Pekka Himanen, my co-founder, will be in Finland. We are all one. And this is a new movement, and this is something that we can control. We can take our lives back. And poor people, so-called poor people, have been the salvation of the world since the beginning of the world. But we've got to see ourselves as valuable. And well before we had manicured nails, we had dirt underneath our nails. See dignity and integrity in that. Unbought, unbossed, unbiased, coming to you live, straight talk and no chaser, with no political agenda, with just love for you and your uplift. I'm out. I'll answer your questions later. Bye. Have a great Saturday.